Tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many of me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon.
Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, you better believe I got a sweet tooth, but ain't nothing sweet. I know you spend all your money to treat. I'm about to spend this little money on trees. Was on a diet, but I gotta cheat. Jumped off the porch, now I'm on 2nd Street. Tamika, my twin, she rolling that dough, and I think about counting that dough in my sleep. What's up, TJ? Before y'all run, I don't wanna be late. I need a little something, I hit this way, and I need it now, I don't need a delay. Peanut butter like my snack, like my woman. Denzel Washington, I'm leaving with sun. Chocolate chip, baby, you know how I'm coming. Banana pudding, no, we got it jumping, yeah. Yeah, I got butterific, I'm feeling terrific. Serving them cookies is not just a gimmick. They pulling them now cause they love to mimic, yeah. I need a pack, I need a sack, I need a stack, I need a rack. Man, I need everything in a bag down.
You better believe it.
Ay, butterific, yeah, butterific, shit, butterific.
Welcome to the B2N podcast, a show with 5 lifelong friends have come together. Father of 12 boys, a daughter. We talk about business, family, community, family. You try to strengthen our community, navigate relationships, all with honesty that only decades of friendship and love can bring. Grab a seat at the table. Welcome. Hit subscribe button. We appreciate you tuning in. Welcome to the family. Today we're touching base. All of us are fathers. I just mentioned how many sons and daughters we have. We're talking about fatherhood with intentionality, being a father with intention, and fatherhood on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. Break that down, brother. What you mean by that?
Yeah. So being intentional about what you want to accomplish within your children. How are you intentional about the role model that you're being? Do you correct your bad habits, hide your bad habits? Do you let them choose their path? How much do you guide their path versus let them follow their own path? The discipline versus guidance, the family culture, the sons versus daughters. How do we start? So putting it out there to the panel. So what's the one thing that you guys did that say, you know what, when I first became a father, I knew damn well I was gonna be boom, 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 boom.
I would definitely say. Oh, go ahead, James.
Go ahead.
Jamie.
Go ahead.
I would definitely say. I definitely had made commitments of being a committed parent, being intentional. Definitely breaking generational curses.
Right.
Very, very. Protecting, providing. Emotional discipline, mentorship. The whole works. So I was conscious of all those things.
But chill now, because I know we've talked about this to some extent in previous episodes and all, but it sounds like you've evolved to that level. You know what I mean? Were you more intentional in the beginning of fatherhood, or had it? You know what I mean? Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I was that. No, seriously, I was that intentional.
I know, but you told me like
Been that nigga, you know what I'm saying?
like he was waiting. He was waiting for that question or something. But okay.
I'm one of those fathers, man. We my wife and I, we plan to have our son. So I was locked in, and I was anticipating him to come, and I had vision, and of course, you don't know exactly how things gonna unfold, but at the same time, it was definitely in the forefront of my head. Absolutely.
Hey, y'all was married what, 3 years before y'all had Tyreek?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did it just like I told him or told y'all that I would suggest my at least the youngest to do. You know what I mean? Like you said, get that few years to enjoy your wife with y'all. And then play. So you did it well, brother. Unlike myself, I was,
thank you, brother.
it was intentional, but without a
Direction.
firm foundation, and and the guidance. You know what I mean? Because I believe I mentioned this again previously that I felt to be a better parent at 30 than I was at 20. Well, of course, 17. But when I really thought to be, as far as like you said, intentional, because I was going to ask you, JG, when you brought that up, I was like, what's the converse? What's the what's opposite of what you're saying of not being an intentional father? But I guess I can kind of look back on myself at 17. I didn't intend, Michael wasn't playing, my oldest and whatnot. And so, yeah, that's a very interesting subject. And it was funny that I can use myself as to answer my own question when you brought it up.
Doesn't it grow though? The topic go beyond the family planning side of it. It's like,
oh, absolutely.
The intentionality is what things that you identify as important that you were going to be an intentional guide of. You know what I'm saying? Like what were those things that like for me, because I know for me, I think it started for me. I can't even like sit here and act like I knew what the hell I was doing for real. You know what I'm saying? Because only thing I knew is like we did with me. I'm gonna give them what I ain't have. Right. That's where it started. When you didn't grow up with your father, that's sort of where it starts is, and there's really, a lot of the reason why a lot of us probably have children as soon as we get married. We race to that because we like, man, I can't wait, man. I'm gonna do this the right way. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to thinking, like you said, Jamie, let me get to know this woman first and spend some time. Because I know for me, before all of my kids got out of college, bro, we had about 4 months together before, and then fucking 22 years with kids. You know what I'm saying? You get to know each other after that. I ain't date you, but we were married for 4 months before we had to pour in all of these babies, right? And so, but I guess the things I just knew, if I could say what I was intentional about was being present and being like accountability was important and discipline, but it was more so, man, like I just wanted to make sure they had somebody that was treating them right. I'm talking about as a parent, you know what I'm saying? Like, some parents, man, got an antagonistic relationship with their children. Like it's almost like they got a transactional relationship. You the child, I'm the parent. Right. And I just wanted to be a good dude to them. That was what I was trying to be intentional about. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know, that sounds kind of like basic, but it really was. It's like I wanted to be fair to them. I wanted to hold them accountable, but I wanted them to have a dad that they liked. And not for the wrong reasons. But
you ain't want to be Joe Jackson.
Yeah, man, you're right. Joe, man,
I'm talking about Joe.
Joe had nigga did 3 shows, and Joe gonna beat you because you ain't practicing that evening. Michael wanted to go play Twister. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely not a Joe Jackson, man. But I guess as you learn, that's the thing is, let me say it this way. I can't say how intentional I was because I learned so much as I was going. That whole building a plane while you flying thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just responding to situations that I'm gonna have to deal with that. This joker can't sit still. I didn't know what I was going to. If you had asked me, what do you do with somebody that sits still before I had a mirror that was borderline ADHD, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So but I had to go figure out how to love him through that, help him through stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, I definitely get that. I know one of the things that was definitely just being an involved parent, one to be there, one to support, and one to I knew definitely you know, half of the reason I used to get in trouble was, you know, you may not know where I'm at. And
Yeah.
so I knew definitely I had to, you know, keep an eye on him. And of course, I mean, times definitely had changed from when, you know, when we was growing up to, you know, uh, almost 30 years later. Definitely time has changed. And so when you experiencing those moments that you definitely want to keep your eye on them and have them involved in something that's occupying our mind in a positive sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I think about it, I want to kind of go back before we had Darius and Kari. When I think back to when I first met my wife, and I had known her about a week, 2-3 weeks max, and I was thinking, man, I'm probably gonna end up marrying this woman. This is what I'm thinking to myself, but I don't really have no real direction, no real plan. I just know, all right, we gonna hang, you know, and then next thing you know, she pregnant. And so I'm like, well, darn, you know, okay, all right. Well, I wasn't planning on going nowhere, but okay, you pregnant, we'll do this together. You know, it's like, all right, whatever. And then her father, you know, was like, wait a minute. Now, keep in mind, I done married the preacher's daughter, the pastor's daughter. And I done
Right.
no. I ain't married the pastor's daughter. I done got the pastor's daughter pregnant. and so he like, hey man, you know, you need to marry my daughter. And I'm like, man, old dude ain't gonna tell me what to do. You know,
You didn't tell us you had no shotgun wedding, man.
Yeah, I'm about to explain it to you. and so he like, man, you got my daughter pregnant. You gotta marry my. I'm like, look, okay, whatever. You know, I'm not really trying to hear nothing he talking when it comes to that. Now, before she had even gotten pregnant, I'm thinking, I'm probably gonna marry this woman. But then once he started pressing it like that, I realized I wasn't marrying her because he was pressing it. I'm like, oh, I'm
You
just
ain't gonna
being,
tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'm just on this. You ain't gonna tell me what
I
to
love her.
do.
She gonna be my wife, but not because you said so.
Exactly. That's
Silly as
exactly
it sounds.
right. Yeah,
Silly as it
exactly.
sounds.
And then I realized, man, how much immaturity there was in that. And so I'm like, all right, let's get married. Let's rock. Let's go. Now, keep in mind, Darius is 5 months old, 6 months old when we get married. But to go back when he's actually born, bro, the day he was born in the delivery room, man, I cried like a baby.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that.
boo-hooed like a baby. And it was like the realization that, oh my gosh, I knew in that moment my life was now being lived for someone else and not for myself. And I wasn't crying out of loss of me. I was crying about coming to the realization of the magnitude of the responsibility that God had just blessed me with. And so now I'm like, oh, this ain't about me. This is about him. And now, oh, I got to get a vision. I got to get some direction. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. And to touch on what you said, Chuck, like, I want to be a good dude. I want to be a good dude for him. I want to be fair and just. I told my boys when they was growing up, I promise you, I will never tell you to do something because I said so. Not because I don't have the authority as a parent to do so, but because I'm articulate enough to be able to explain to you why I want you to do something. And I'm going to communicate that to you. But more importantly, I wanted to raise empowered young men who felt empowered to question authority in the proper way, empowered young men to advocate for themselves. So all of these things is how I wanted to raise these fellas. And so it was very intentional about every single thing that we did from start to finish, how to implement a value system and then how to live it out and execute it on a day-to-day basis. I know I'm gonna be here no matter what. I want to make sure that these boys can never say, I couldn't find my dad. I ain't know where he was. I want to make sure, we've talked about this before. Man, one of the best things you could do for your boys is to love their mama, right? If you had an opportunity to do that. And I was blessed to be able to do that. What's up, Chill?
I feel like shots was fired, bro.
What 5 shots at?
Because I said so.
What? Because I said so.
Yeah.
That's your methodology, Talik.
Hey, man. Hey, I found myself saying, because I said so.
No, well, I didn't want to do that because.
But I'm saying I did.
Because I know, but see, I wanted to be able to develop that back and forth, that dialogue, that conversation. I wanted to strengthen and raise sharp young men to where, hey, yo, we can go back intellectually and banter. And I mean, y'all know the fellas, they're more than capable of doing that. And so I wanted to develop that in them. I didn't want to take away their power and say, just follow my authority because I'm your dad. No, okay. I want to live my life in a way. I wanted to make sure I maintain my moral authority with my sons so that they can live out examples that I have in my life. That's what I wanted. And that's how I was intentional about it.
And see, for me, I think it's a time and place for that. And right now, when I'm disciplining you, it ain't no time to be going back and forth. Now, after this all said and done, I will come back to you and address what I believe it took place. But right now, it's not even time for discussion. You need to deal with your emotions and your feelings on a whole nother level. And then when I come back, we can discuss these things. But right back and forth, absolutely not. I'm not going back and forth with no 6-year-old. You kidding me?
Like this is
No,
that's back to the old school. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. I feel what Joaquin's saying, but I also agree with Talik that it depends on the situation. Because sometimes it is a skill that a young man also needs to know when to shut the hell up. That's a skill that they need to know too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna teach them it, but not right when we back and forth.
That going the wrong way is you arguing with the police because you think that he's supposed to give you some answers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's what happened with your boys, but I do think it's not just shut the hell up. That's what I mean to say. It's not just because I said so. There are times when the back and forth is not necessary, or you just need to listen and receive, because either there might be a reason I ain't got time to go back and forth with you right now, or it's just a situation where I'm just gonna let you sit with what happened without getting the explanation and let you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, it's a conversation after the conversation, but right now, nah. We ain't going there.
Would you say there are certain circumstances where it is, or you have said, hey, because I said so, that's enough?
No.
Or you saying
I ain't never do that. I ain't never do that. You can ask.
Eating at the kid table or something.
Say it again. What'd you say, Chuck?
End up eating at the kid table sometimes, and Darius at the head of the table. That was on another podcast. We were
hey, listen, as a coach, as a basketball coach, right? How long you coach?
Over 2 decades.
20 years.
Oh, okay. Now, and during the game, and if you call a play, send in an assignment, or sub someone out, whatever coaching tactic you make, the clock is running. Do you just say, hey, because I told you so, get in the game or run this play or whatnot? Have you ever done that in your coaching?
Sure, absolutely.
I don't feel that
that's not what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. If your kid about to run across the street, stop, car gonna hit you, because I said so. That's obvious. What I'm talking about is parents that do not have the ability to stand on principle, ethics, and values, and why they are implementing a rule, and they just want to stand on the authority of the parent. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to stand on my authority as a parent. I'm standing on the value system. I'm standing on the principles. And now, because I'm standing on values and principles, I don't never have to say because I'm your daddy. Because guess what? If I'm talking to another kid, I ain't his daddy, but I still want him to listen as well. I'm not his daddy. I can only influence young people that I'm their father. You can't just stand on that principle. You got to stand on righteousness. You got to stand on some values. And that's why I stood on that with my boys as well. I'm not just standing on, I do what I say because I told you, because I can tell you why I'm telling you this.
I think.
Do you think the other way is just that? Like, is it one way or the other for you? Like I'm this. You know what I'm saying,
bro? Listen, let me say this. I think when you have very intelligent children, you don't want to do that because they're gonna feel like they're gonna perceive that they're not getting justice. And one of the quickest ways to lose the influence of your children is for them to perceive you to be unfair and unjust. Now, they might listen when they're 7, but guess what? When they're 14, they're going to respond a little differently to you if that's still your method.
So you saying because I said so is unjust?
No, if you can't explain it, it might be.
Well, I can explain it. I don't have time right now to explain it.
Okay,
I will explain
listen,
but right
we
now,
getting caught up. Don't get caught up in the semantics of the timing. That's not important here. Y'all making it about he about to cross the street. It's not important. He about to cross the street. It's not. That's not important. Okay, if that's what y'all think I'm saying, y'all missing my point. That's not what I'm saying. The timing. I just said if your kid about to run across the street and you say stop, do it because I said so.
That's not the only scenario we saying you gonna be quiet because I said so. Just the cross the street thing. We talking about
y'all not gonna gang up on my dude. Why?
No.
I'm
agree what you're saying.
It is a skill. There is a skill in. All right. For example, you're talking about preparing them for life and preparing them for justice in the world, and they're intelligent. Intelligent people know you have to shut the hell up sometimes.
That's right.
And just receive.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
You're not going to always get no explanation when you want it based on your emotional state. Because when they come into you and want all this back and forth, they in their emotions. And sometimes they have to sit with the reality of their actions without an explanation. Sometimes I'm giving you critical thinking skills. You figure out why I just said that to you. You think about it based on what I've already taught you. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes I ain't gonna tell you because I done told you before.
Well, let me ask you this. So what you're saying is, I don't want to explain because why?
No, okay, good. Oh, go ahead.
No,
I don't say.
Why don't you want to explain?
They said that they wouldn't explain. No one said that. No one said that they would not.
All I'm saying is I'm explaining. Okay,
and I will say
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not going.
You do that without technically saying because I said so. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you're having a good debate, sometimes the energy can get out of whack. It can be a little chaotic, and you got to control the temperature and bring it back.
That's true.
Now, whether you say because I said so or not, you bring it back to the square, right? Getting everybody back to on point to what the temperature is, right? So you're still doing it, so to speak, but not directly because I said so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you still bring. Hey, you guys missed the part where I said they have to learn how to engage in this back and forth in the proper way. I did say that when I started.
Yes, sir, you did.
You absolutely
what I'm
did
saying
say that.
It's a way that we engage. We're not going to be, if you say, you're a 7-year-old, you're not going to be yelling and cussing and all that. No. We're going to learn to do that. So when I want them to learn to respect the authorities in the street, police officers or whoever, I'm teaching that. I'm teaching that. And I'm teaching that, well, when the police tell you something, that's different than me. I'm not going to pull out a gun and shoot you and kill you. I'm talking about me explaining. I'm not talking about why you got to have an explanation from the police. I'm not talking about that. We explaining all of that.
I think
Go
the
ahead.
problem is it's happening in real time, and I have an issue with if I'm talking to you in real time now. And I think that's one of the issues. It's more than that, but I'm still teaching these same skills you displaying, but it's not in real time, right? And I might show you how to demonstrate. I'm showing you these different skills in different environments. So I might say, well, what do you think happened in that situation that we witnessed earlier? And I'm gonna listen to them, and then I'm gonna coach them, and then I'm gonna say, well, what you think could have happened different in that area? And then we're gonna have some dialogue going back and forth. But when it's time for when I tell you and like I say, if you 7, 10, 15, whatever you are, if I said something, then I said so.
Give an example of the time 6
give
year
me
or
any-
6 year old, 6, 7 year old.
It could be any reason.
6 or 7, and that I'm saying, but to what you're talking about though, because we understand that as well. I understand the situations or whatever.
Let's use a school's. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
let's use a school situation. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chill. No, go ahead.
I give you.
No, I was just gonna say let's.
So a kid gets suspended from school, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets in trouble at school or whatever. Not say suspended, because that's my history. I don't think none of y'all got suspended. Did y'all?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I told my
Yeah,
kid I got elementary, middle, and high school. All right, so he done disrespected the teacher, and he thinks he was right. And
Say
so
it again. You say he disrespected the teacher.
And thought that they were right, and they didn't do nothing, and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get home, you say, well, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. You can't have your iPhone for 2 weeks. You give the punishment, right? After you hear what happened or whatever.
Okay. All right.
Then why am I gotta get all of that? Don't say nothing about it right now. I just told you what the punishment is. Because I said so.
Because I said so.
All right, James.
Well, let me say this. That scenario doesn't happen because you already know you're gonna get punished before you even get home if that's what really happened at school. So it ain't even no conversation.
He didn't do nothing wrong though.
Wait a minute.
I'm saying the child's perspective. They shouldn't have called you. I ain't do nothing.
I ain't done nothing.
Well, you said he got in trouble for disrespecting the teacher.
Yeah,
so
that's
when
what
I
the teacher said. Yeah.
So when I hear what I'm going to be the person that determines what was disrespect. So here's where the explanation comes in. He think he ain't do nothing. I heard what the teacher said. Now let's just say I deem it as disrespectful. I'm going to explain to him why what he did was disrespectful. And because you did this, I think it was disrespectful. Me and your mama think it was disrespectful. You must now be punished. Now, if you don't know that was disrespectful, today you're going to learn that it was disrespectful.
All right, so let me tell you.
Now we establishing a standard that's disrespectful. It cannot happen. And these are the consequences for the disrespect.
And I think the only difference is that what I know, I don't know if Talik is saying this or what John said, but what I'm saying is I might not tell you that right away. I might just tell you that we're gonna talk about it. Because let me tell you this, this is why, because when it comes to cases of discipline in the home, and I'm the father, I'm the judge.
That's right. I talked about that.
Now you committed a crime and I'm the judge, right?
That's right.
You don't go to court and get to tell the judge when you gonna talk, when you gonna speak, and all of that. He decides to let you know when he wants to question you or not. So I'm in charge of this process based on how I think best to deal with it. So it might be, you might not get your explanation right now when you want it as a child. You might get it when I determine that you want it, because I might just want you to sit in the holding cell for a minute and think about this stuff before I explain anything.
Think about it.
You see what I'm saying?
Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, you better believe I got a sweet tooth, but ain't nothing sweet. I know you spend all your money to treat. I'm about to spend this little money on trees. Was on a diet, but I gotta cheat. Jumped off the porch, now I'm on 2nd Street. Tamika, my twin, she rolling that dough, and I think about counting that dough in my sleep. What's up, TJ? Before y'all run, I don't wanna be late. I need a little something, I hit this way, and I need it now, I don't need a delay. Peanut butter like my snack, like my woman. Denzel Washington, I'm leaving with sun. Chocolate chip, baby, you know how I'm coming. Banana pudding, no, we got it jumping, yeah. Yeah, I got butterific, I'm feeling terrific. Serving them cookies is not just a gimmick. They pulling them now cause they love to mimic, yeah. I need a pack, I need a sack, I need a stack, I need a rack. Man, I need everything in a bag down.
You better believe it.
Ay, butterific, yeah, butterific, butterific.
So it's not just that's just
Listen,
what I'm saying. That's
And
the
what
comment.
I'm saying
I'm
is,
saying that
we're not
co-signing
disagreeing.
Tor.
We're not disagreeing. All I'm saying is, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to have that conversation in that moment. And what y'all saying is, y'all might have it, y'all might not, and we'll get to it whenever we get to it, whenever I deem it necessary. Well, to me, I deem those conversations necessary in that moment.
But you described it as unjust earlier.
What you?
That
Now,
methodology.
he was saying that when if that's the approach of just, I get what he's saying. Put it that way, and I know you all do as well. However, just try to act.
I don't have. Listen,
Because both of y'all nice as hell. That's the problem. Both of y'all too damn nice.
No,
I don't.
You also have various judges too. You have different judges too that they talk about, and that are some that are like you and Chill, which are the type of judges that want this person to at least learn from whatever it is that the crime that they committed. Whereas I believe it's a matter of reason, and it's really a good thing to question as opposed to just saying da 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 da. So with the scenario that you brought to the as an example, and with at least how I believe I would me and Juan would be, is I would ask, so all right, of course, what happened? Even though we know what happened. And so then if the child says, I don't think I disrespected, okay. So why don't you think you disrespected the teacher with what you just, like you said, with what you just described? How do you not see that as disrespect? You know what I mean? So, but you're all just saying, because I said so, or
No, see, y'all keep making that because I said so. Y'all keep cheapening our argument when y'all say that. That's cheapening our argument.
What you mean? Well,
y'all making it sound like you just some trifling nigga. I said so, nigga. Nah, no.
That's how
Chill brought it, though. That's how Chill
say it differently then, because not everybody uses because I said so. It could be we're not going to discuss this right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Why not?
All right, real quick.
Like seriously, why not? Like, why not? Why we can't discuss it right now? Like, if you real busy, okay, I get it. Because I got to go do something, I'll be back. But if you're not busy, why we can't discuss it?
You're not giving value to the point I said was sometimes people have to sit with stuff and let
sometimes you have to regulate your emotions.
There you go, Jay Jizzle.
A child thinking about what happened and waiting and mulling over that is an intellectual skill in and of itself.
Let me say this. So why not say that? Say, son, I want you to sit here and think about what happened. I want you to go over why this happened and what happened. Why not say, and then son,
it isn't always prescriptive in the sense that I'm telling you exactly everything. So I need you to arrive at some things on your own sometimes. Because after I do that once, you're like, okay, he want me to think about this. They could arrive at that after they see how you treat stuff like that.
You just said they smart and intelligent, so go think about it. Go think
about
it.
But I'm gonna let them know. What I'm saying is, it sounds to me bullying when you're not willing to explain. That's all I'm saying. And
what I'm saying is, it's not. I don't have a problem with telling you because I said so, and you had a big problem with that. Now,
I think the coddling your way is coddling.
Yeah, and not only that, like JG said,
see it that way.
But like JG
But it
said,
ain't coddling if they get the punishment.
but hold on a second. But like JG said, what y'all might not have heard was, hey, I might have to get my emotions intact. Maybe
And
based on what you
I
done.
don't have no
and that's
problem
what
with that.
and that's
That
what it
ain't my
sounds like
problem.
when you say that. It's because I
Now-
said so. That's what I was just
now-
about to bring that up. It sounds
at
like
6
you
years
in
old,
an emotional state.
It could be
when
us
you
as
have
a
to say
father
that because I think so.
regulating our emotions, or the child may
Man.
be emotional. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
that's why them kids run over on y'all.
Yeah, and you need to let them calm down so they can absorb it better.
That's why
Listen.
they run over on y'all.
See, no,
Here's what-
y'all
here's what I'm also
taking
willing
the
to
whole
say.
thing out of
Here's what I'm
context.
also willing to say.
and not giving it.
I'm also willing to hear what you said, son, hear what the teacher said, and be like, oh, son, that teacher on some BS. Don't worry about it. You good. I'm willing to say that as well.
If we in real time and we in the classroom and we having a conversation and we having some dialogue, that's appropriate. But if you done came home, I done heard what the teacher said. I don't even want to deal with it right now. Look,
So
Whatever
you
the
having an
scenario.
issue.
Look, let's take it
I
out.
might. I'm just
Look,
saying, but
look, all right,
that's
I
not
can say it
every
differently.
single
can
time
say
I
it
say that.
differently. I got you, Talib. I can say it differently. It ain't about I don't have time to say it right now. I'm still thinking about it.
Just
And
say
while she's
that.
saying, why don't you just say
All
that?
right, and look,
Why do I
let's
need to
take it-
give my authority
Let's take
away?
it out of example. Let's take it out of discipline.
You're not giving it away.
Let's take it out of example. So every time they want a little red truck and you say no, you got to give a damn explanation about why you saying no.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I would.
I knew
Son, we're
Brother
not-
Corey would have
son,
a good one.
We're
a
not
good,
buying the red truck. We saving money right now. Remember you talked about wanting to save money for something else? All right, so you talking them through. Oh yeah, that's right, Dad. You right. I don't want the
you
truck,
talking to a wife, a spouse. That's the type of shit you do to a spouse.
bro. Why don't we do that with our children? We talking
They
to we
children,
talking to
bro. They
people.
They
We gonna
children.
stay on topic,
people.
but
They
like a
had the ability to think.
But see, but what
What'd you say, John?
you're ignoring is that children need boundaries.
I know we set them, and I'm teaching them what they are when I'm having a conversation with them.
Okay.
All right, what you say, Jizzle?
Oh no, I was saying we're gonna stay on this topic, but however, when he's saying we saving money, that's that scarcity mindset regarding finances. That I know
That's
you
not a
don't
scarcity mindset. When we done talked about
If
goals and
you want it,
objectives financially, we talking about goals and objectives financially. That's not a scarcity mindset. When I say, son,
He's 7 years old. He don't understand no goals right now. He want the red Matchbox car.
my son had his own business, making his own money at 7 years old. So yeah, he
I
did
believe.
understand.
Okay, well, see, now we giving advice and guidance to the general population. Darius is an anomaly.
But how he get like that? How he get like that? It was a process to getting him there
I just
through
think
these conversations. All I'm
And
saying is,
it was
listen,
through Coach Joaquin's intentional parenting that allowed him to do that. He's been
listen.
intentional.
I'll give you an example. I understand what y'all saying.
Has he grown up? Let me answer this question. Has he grown up through his years and you've had an issue with how much he questions authority when it was a place or a time for him to be quiet?
With me, yeah.
yeah, I got
And
problems.
I'm like,
So you don't think if it happened with you, it happened outside of the house, any? Where you had to bring him back later because you said, "Look, man, you should have just kept your mouth shut."
that's happened as well. But
Okay,
it's
that
through
could be
conversation.
an impact of him over
but
the
ain't
years.
nobody-
Conditioned that I can question no matter the time, place, or space. Whenever I want, I deserve an explanation from that individual right now.
Listen, we're not talking about any other individual. We talking about me as a father, as a parent. We talking about how I interact with him, That's what we talking about. So what you got to say to your teacher, what you got to say to the judge, what you got to say to the police, I'm going to teach you that too. I'm talking to you how we interact and how I want our dialogue to go. I'm not going to lay my trump card on the table and say, I'm your daddy, unless it's something that's extraordinary. And we ain't had no extraordinary situation where I done had to say, I'm your daddy, do what I say.
I
We
think
haven't had that situation.
I just think that's a real, to me, I think that's a real dangerous place because,
Why?
well, I'm about to explain to you what
All
I
right.
think. I think it's a real dangerous place because as a parent, right? You know, you look at your mother one way, you look at your father another way. And most of the time, and most of the time your the way your father deal with things and your mother deal with things is totally different, right?
Of
And
course.
so and so just say, hey, for keepsake, hey, you the man of the house, right? Right. Well, you know what, like just on a basic level, you the man of the house. And if I'm the man of the house and I'm allowing this person to challenge and to my authority on that level, and
That's not
then
a challenge to your authority to ask questions.
well, I'm just telling you what I think that's dangerous, right?
All right.
Right. And you challenging the authority on that level, even though you're having dialogue, right? Now, when they leave these four corners of this wall, our house, then you be like, I talk to my dad like that, right? And like when I'm asking someone else in various areas that has the authority in that space, then you can continue pushing the bar real hard because you're comfortable with doing it at home. And it might get into a disrespectful area because you oversee your boundaries. Now I see James shaking his head, but I'm
No,
just telling you
because
what I think.
because you're saying he see how he said he did it in a way that wouldn't be what you're describing. He's setting the example of how it should be done. So that's not going to go carry out and be different. You know what I
Why?
mean?
Why?
Because he was given that, at least given that room and allowed. And
You
that's what
think
Home is
he's
so?
saying.
practice. Home is practice for the world, brother.
He's
You
dying.
think so?
What now?
So you
Home
No,
think
is
so?
practice for the world.
What'd you say, Chuck?
I'm
home
saying
home
home
is
is
practice for the
world.
home is
world.
practice for the world. You can't say a child does something consistently over years at home and that don't translate to the world.
Yeah,
That's not what I was
You
saying.
wouldn't make that
That's not what I
argument if
was
we were
saying.
talking about something else outside of this. You would say absolutely the way I taught him to take care of himself translates out into the world. You know what I'm saying?
well,
I think you're
well,
misunderstanding.
I didn't teach him. I think what I'm saying is I didn't teach him to be disrespectful by asking questions. And I don't think it's disrespectful to ask questions. And I
And the
don't think
wrong
it's
time it
disrespectful
is. At the wrong time it can be.
at the wrong time. And right. So what I got to teach you is when to ask the questions.
Exactly.
That's why we having the conversation. So you know when to ask the questions. Look, I had an example. We had a kid.
Real quick, and can
AAU
you get that?
basketball.
And can you get that out of because I said so? No, you can't.
I had a kid one
Y'all
time.
keep cheaping it to I said so. That's what I'm saying. Like you talking about some low
Because-
level
Listen,
parenting.
what I'm
because I
saying
said-
is I don't feel like I am losing my authority as a parent by being willing to discuss a situation with my son.
Reason.
That's all I'm saying. I don't feel
not
like I'm
saying you
losing.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not,
all right. So what are you saying? Like
I'm
I
just
don't.
saying you're describing it as losing the third. I didn't say that I would do that because I would feel I'm losing my authority if I did it the way I do it. I'm not saying
Okay.
about
That's
losing my
chill.
authority.
That's he's
I
talking
ain't
about.
saying nothing about that.
He's talking about that. But that was directed towards Talib.
I don't feel that way either.
Me and
You
Talik
think
on the
that
same
he's-
side, brother. What you talking about?
No, sir. You said
This
because
tag
Chill
team
said
wrestling
he
right now.
felt that you're giving away your authority when you open it up to as far as a back and forth of discussion, or so to speak. Did you not say that, Chill? Yes, you did.
Okay.
He said
Right.
that.
Brother, if I said because I said so, right? I mean, we keep going back to this. Like, James, I said
Okay.
so, right?
Let me share one with you. Let me share one with you.
And I got one for you.
Let me share one with
Go
you.
ahead.
So all our lives, me and Darius have had this discussion. And Kari, but me and Kari don't really clash.
All right.
But there was a time when Darius was like, Dad, I'm going to this party in Gordonsville. And I said to him, don't do that, son. He was like, why not? And I said to him, I said, son, I don't really have a reason why you shouldn't go to this specific party. Okay. But let me tell you what happened to a friend of mine at a party on New Year's Eve in 1989. And so I tell him the story, and I tell him the story about Ron and going to the party down the country and explaining the dynamics of the boys and the girls and country dudes, how they feel about dudes from town and all. I explain all of that. Now I said, I don't really have a reason to say don't go, but I just told you why I don't want you to go. Now you decide what you want to do. Now he chose not to go to the party. Well, lo and behold, somebody drove through the party and hit people in the car, and people got hurt and all that stuff at this particular party because some stuff broke out. Now, I didn't say, don't you go because I told you. I think that's when you lose kids. That's when kids start sneaking around and doing stuff and keeping stuff from you when they don't feel like they can get some just answers and a just understanding. I think we got to provide them with understanding. That's all I'm saying.
And in that scenario, nothing wrong with it. I could have had that same dialogue, and that makes and I had that same dialogue. So
I think he gave one to somebody that's 16 or 17. So it depends on the situation, how much when I need to leverage mine because I said so. At 16 or 17, you talking about a party, you damn near talking about a life or death situation. So that might not be a scenario where I choose to say because I said so. You ain't saying much because I said so at 16 or 17 anyway.
Right.
You know what
I'm just saying I don't do it all the time, but there has been times I said it.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, that's not an issue. But sometimes think about this, right? What if you sent your son out there and you forgot to cover one of those grounds and it went south? Oh man. You know what I mean? Dad forgot to tell you that, son. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just saying, like, what do you do in those situations? Do you take total blame for it? Do you take responsibility that I forgot to tell you every different scenario, son? Like, I mean,
I don't mean to be flippant about it, but that ain't gonna happen. It ain't happening.
Okay.
But I don't forgot to tell you something. Like for real.
Okay.
I can't. It may be, but I can't recall.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. I'll forget something. I can't remember everything.
All I'm saying, all of these things are. I think to me, I just try to be like, okay, man, I'm gonna tell. Okay, let me just say this, and part of it is, it's just trauma, because when you're young and you got adults telling you no, just because they don't want to drive or they don't want to go or they just don't want you to do it. That is extremely frustrating. So as a parent, I decided
unfair and unjust.
Right. I decided I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to tell you exactly why you can't do something, because I'm going to have a reason for you. I ain't going to have no bullshit. Just like, oh, no, hell no, go sit down, go in the house, go downstairs, be quiet, shut up. All that bullshit parents be doing. But they're abusing their authority as parents.
But sometimes they wasn't abusing it. Sometimes they didn't have the wherewithal or the vocabulary or the patience, or like we talked about, the emotional regulation
discipline
that they was dealing with. And sometimes, you know what, to keep it succinct, because I said so. And again, we can come back to that later on once emotions are calmed down or whatever the case may be. But yeah, we grew up a lot with that, right? And we know they loved us. But again, if that's what was in their tool belt at the time, that was in their tool belt. And sometimes we had to shut the hell up and deal with it, right?
So and so that ain't all the tools I got in my belt. So why would I use that? Why would I act like I'm not gonna bring a hammer to every job? You don't
My
need a hammer
final
every time.
remark to Brother James is this. I encourage him to read the story about Moses and the man traveling with him,
Brother,
the
I know
wise
that one
man in
because
the
the
Holy
minister
Quran.
he does it so well. But yes, sir,
You can't
absolutely.
travel with me because you don't have patience with me.
Moses in the
You don't.
in
There
the
are
wise
things.
man.
There are things that you don't understand, and I don't have the patience to explain along the way because you just don't understand necessarily. So, and there will be a time when you get the explanation.
I'll give you an
Yeah,
example.
that was excellent. Excellent. Oh, go ahead. You got another example?
One day in a basketball game. So we went in the AAU game. We up by like 20 or 30. And the point guard come down and I say, hey man, throw the
You
ball
had time
inside.
to explain. You was up by 20 or 30. I already know.
Go ahead.
You was winning. You can explain things in a tight game. Yeah, no, I got time. I'm gonna put the person in this.
I say, hey man, I say to the point guard, throw the ball inside to Sam. And he shoots the three and makes it. He don't throw it to Sam. He come back down the floor next time. I'm like, hey, throw the ball inside to Sam. He go to the basket, score another bucket. And I talk to the kid on the bench. I say, hey, will you go in there? And when you get it in there, throw the ball to Sam. So the point guard comes out the game. And he's like, why you take me out? I said, I told you 3 times to throw the ball to Sam. And he says, Sam ain't going to do nothing but miss the layup like that, right? I said, I know. I want you to throw it to Sam so Sam can miss the layup. And so I can bring Sam to the sideline and coach him up so he can go back in there and make the layup. I said, see, because you didn't listen, now you're over here sitting and somebody else is in there throwing the ball to Sam. So I understand timing is not always, okay, I can't explain it to him on the floor, but I'm more than happy to explain it to him when he come off the floor. Sometimes the coach just don't say nothing. That kid ain't listening, sit on the bench. Well, I think the kid need to be coached up to explain, like sometimes, bro, you only thinking about you only thinking about points. You're not thinking about, because guess what? When we get to the championship game, we're going to need Sam. We're not going to be up 30 when we get to the championship game. We're going to need Sam. So we got to coach Sam up now. And so I understand that we don't always have time to explain, but I'm willing to explain in the moment.
And
I can explain when you're on the floor.
That's a great example because, and I know we're wrapping up. That's a great example because what I would have done was, like you said, I would have put his ass at the end of the bench and took him out. I would have made the same substitution. And I'm not explaining that. That's another example. I don't have to. You see me coaching. Now you interfering with my job. You see me coaching. You wonder why I took you out after you knew you didn't do what I said. Go down and think about why you came out.
Right. And another thing was,
wait. Now what?
I can explain all of that stuff that he just said on the sideline later to the whole team.
Okay, so will you yourself, or will you wait for him to kind of ask or whatever? You understand what I'm saying?
Will I will do what? What you mean?
Will you explain it later?
He's gonna ask me when he come out why I'm sitting down. Why he's sitting down?
All right. If you did what you said you did, put him at the end of the bench and all of that. All right, or whatever. What's the likelihood of him asking? Because he's gonna be salty with you. Do you think he's gonna? Then come to you and say, "Hey, why did you take me?" Blah 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 blah. Or
no, he already asked why on the way out why he took him out as soon as he came off the floor.
Right. But I'm saying with yours,
because in his mind,
you know what I would have said. You know what I would have said. Go think about it.
Well, in the reality too, if it was a 2-point game, you wouldn't have made that coaching decision.
If it was a 2-point game, I only asked him to throw it to Sam. Go ahead, shoot them threes and make the point. Right. So, right. But now this is a different circumstance.
And right. And we don't always have that luxury to explain it. We will eventually. That's the whole point. You had that luxury.
What I wanted him to take away from the moment, is that you have to think about everybody on this team, not just your individual success.
We agree with
And
the
and
coaching.
and then we gonna need these other players to be successful if we're gonna win a championship. All right, that's it.
I think
Excellent.
I think my takeaway for this session is we're both. I think we both saying the same thing. It's just when we say it, because we're gonna have the conversation afterwards, but sometimes we may not have it in the heat of the moment. That's my.
I don't have the time to say that we're going to have this conversation afterwards, right?
I
Jay-
think you're
JG.
absolutely correct.
Before we
Yeah,
leave,
excellent.
bro,
Hope y'all enjoyed the conversation.
JG, hold up. JG.
What's up?
So let us know what are since the thing was about being intentional, right? Or with a purpose. What are the tools that will allow us to be fathers on purpose or intentional fathers? You know what I mean?
Oh wow,
Before,
that
before we
is-
leave, that we can leave with our viewers, our village.
that's a great question.
I think Joaquin did it perfectly, but I think the conversation evolved in the way that shows people is not all of us are going to have the same strategy, but we all have a philosophy
Yeah,
behind it. And so you gotta know why. You gotta know your why. Whether people disagree and we disagree or not, we all had a why. You know what I'm saying? The problem is you can't not have a why.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's a great question, James. 3 tools. One of my biggest prayers, I say it regularly, is calm, assertive energy. You know, be willing to learn, right? Ask questions because we're lifelong learners, right? And just remember, man, it's 3 things that I was jotting down throughout the conversation that they always watching, right? We have to be the example. We can't come home after a bad day at work and kick the dog, so to speak, right? And we can't come home after a great day at work and let them eat cookies and ice cream and cake, except for Joaquin.
Amen.
Yeah. Also,
Hold it.
Purpose over pleasure, right? Have a purpose, right? And so whatever you want that purpose to be as a father, like you say, the value system, the moral system, the work ethic, the discipline, right? And I'm gonna just say the last thing I have to say: the most memorable gift a dad can give is his attention and time and being there. And then that's how we started out talking about the purpose. But it led to an excellent debate.
Well, I'd like to leave with them and say also, fathers and parents and whatever overall, pray, look and ask for that guidance, ask for what it is to help you be the best, that intentional or
Go ahead and teach,
father
Brother
on
Muhammad.
purpose. You know what I mean?
Pray with them as well, James. Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And don't pray on them. I'm joking.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely. Gotta pray.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the father on my shirt. Joaquin did not come up with one Sanford and Son quote this episode. and I can't believe it. You didn't quote none of Lamont and Fred's interactions. And what happened this time? Why? What? It wasn't the episode that can help you with this. I told you what to do because I said.
Yeah. It was a great episode when Fred always said, "Hey, man, they couldn't have worked the deal if you wouldn't have been greedy. You just being a big dummy." So yeah, that was good episodes when Lamont got conned out of some money, So, but yeah, Fred told him don't do it, and he ain't listen.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope you loved the episode. Share it with your friends. Hit the subscribe button. Joaquin, what you gonna take us out with today?
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.